Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining me, for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my videos. This is the weekly love reading for the period of tomorrow, Sunday, August 11th, through Saturday to come, August 17th, which is another 8-8, with August being 8 and 17, also equaling 8. There are a number of feast days, large celestial transits, holidays, whatever you want to call them, during this week. The majority of which, again, these are the large transits. There may be smaller transits every single day that you could look to your, astrologer of choice as to what those are. I'm talking about the larger ones that are happening this week, and most of them are concentrated on the 11th and the 15th, all of the events about which I spoke in the general reading. On the 11th, tomorrow, we do have Jupiter, which has been retrograde since like April, in Sagittarius, which it rules. It does go direct tomorrow. Uranus, the ruler of the sign of Aquarius, which has been located for the past year and will be for another 7 years in the sign of Taurus, goes retrograde tomorrow until January 11th. So from August 11th, 2019 through January 11th, 2020. Mercury re-enters Leo. Mercury had been in Leo and then went retrograde, went into Cancer while in retrograde, went direct while still in Cancer, and now today leaves Cancer and re-enters Leo by tomorrow morning. There may be some other stuff. I'm not looking at anything. I didn't write anything down. I don't have any notes. That's off the top of my head. On the 15th, we... also during this period, while that's going on the Islamic calendar, it is the Hajj, the period of the Hajj, which is the pilgrimage, where Muslims from all over the world do travel to Mecca. It is an obligation under the faith that each Muslim make the pilgrimage at least once in their lifetime, so many will be doing it. It's normal for like 2 million people to make this pilgrimage. That's also happening right now and will be on the 11th. Actually, on the 11th, it's the first day of Eid al-Adha, which is like the celebration of the fact that people made the Hajj. And that's another 3 days, and people will be, breaking fast if they were fasting, and instead having a festive time and eating and partying and so on and so forth. On the 15th is a feast day called the 15th of Av on the Hebrew calendar, and it doesn't always or normally fall on the 15th of August. It's completely a coincidence that the 15th of Av just happens to be on the 15th of August this year. It begins on the 14th because all Hebrew feast days, holidays, begin the night before at sundown, as does their Sabbath every week. It begins, on Friday at sundown, and then Saturday all day is the Sabbath. The same thing goes for the holidays. And so it's a feast day of soulmates and of single people meeting mates, spouses, that started the way I remember the story, the way the story was taught to me in the time of King Solomon. Like, he threw the first parties, with this in mind of linking people up. The women get dressed in, beautiful white outfits and go out and dance and stuff and meet people. So I thought that I would talk about that during the general reading, but I read something from a Hebrew website that I use pretty often, Shabbat.org, and it didn't really tell what the feast day was about, so I was disappointed in that. And I said that if I found one that explained it a little better, I'd read that instead before the love reading. So I'll do that now quickly. This is myjewishlearning.com, and it is a little information about Tu B'Av, which is the Jewish Day of Love. The 15th of Av is both an ancient and modern holiday. The 15th of Av is both an ancient and modern holiday. Originally a post-biblical day of joy, it served as a matchmaking day for unmarried women in the Second Temple period before the fall of Jerusalem in 70 CE. Tu B'Av was also was almost rather unnoticed in the Jewish calendar for many centuries afterward, but it has been rejuvenated in recent decades, especially in the modern state of Israel. In its modern incarnation, it's gradually becoming a Hebrew Jewish day of love, slightly resembling Valentine's Day in English-speaking countries. There's no way to know exactly how early B'Av began. Like I said, the first mention or understanding that I have of it happening was in the time of King Solomon, but we'll see what they say here. According to this, it says the first mention of this date is in the Mishnah, compiled and edited in the end of the 2nd century, where Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel is quoted saying, quote, "There were no better or happier days for the people of Israel than the 15th of Av and Yom Kippur, since on these days the daughters of Israel in Jerusalem go out dressed in white and dance in vineyards. What were they saying? Young man, consider whom you choose to be your wife." And you can find that in the Ta'anit chapter 4. Origins of the date. The Gemara, the later interpretive layer of the Talmud, attempts to find the origin of this date as a special joyous day and offers several explanations. One of them is that on this day the biblical, quote, tribes of Israel were permitted to mingle with each other, the 144,000, namely to marry women from other tribes, and this can be found in the Talmud Ta'anit 30b. This explanation is somewhat surprising, since in the Bible is there a prohibition on intermarriage among the 12 tribes of Israel? There isn't. But the Talmudic source probably is alluding to a story in the book of Judges, chapter 21, which states, after a civil war between the tribe of Benjamin and the other Israelite tribes, the tribes vowed not to intermarry with the men of the tribe of Benjamin. It should be noted that Tu B'Av, like several Jewish holidays, Passover, Sukkot, and Tu B'Shvat, begins on the night between the 14th and 15th day of the Hebrew month. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about a second ago. Since this is the night of a full moon in our lunar calendar. Yeah, did I mention that? It's the same night as the Aquarius full moon. 22 degrees Aquarius, master number 22, 13, 4, 11, 11. So it starts on the 14th of Av, which is the 14th of August this month, or this year. Since this is the night of a full moon in our lunar calendar, is why this is done this way. Linking the night of the full moon with romance, love, and fertility is not uncommon in ancient cultures. For almost 19 centuries, between the destruction of Jerusalem and the reestablishment of Jewish independence in the state of Israel in 1948, which is 49 or 13 or 11/11, the only commemoration of Tu B'Av was the morning prayer service, did not include penitence prayer or Tahanin. In recent decades, Israeli civil culture promotes festivals and singing and dancing on the night of Tu B'Av. The entertainment and beauty industries work overtime on this date. It has no formal legal status as a holiday, and it is a regular work day, nor has the Israeli rabbinate initiated any addition to the liturgy or called for the introduction of any ancient religious practices. The cultural gap between Israeli secular society and the Orthodox rabbinate makes it unlikely that these two will find a common denominator in the celebration of this ancient/modern holiday in the foreseeable future. But now you can kind of get what it is. I wish I had, maybe tomorrow, because I plan to do something tomorrow and a prayer over unions. So maybe I'll look up something from King Solomon, or the song, the books in the Bibles, the Song of Solomon, or something that better explains the story that I initially heard, the way I heard it, and how I came to know that there was such a thing as Soulmate Day in the Bible, which is pretty cool, I think. And I think it's also pretty cool that whether it told us that story, that variation or not, it certainly connects this Soulmate Day to the 144,000 or the tribes of Israel, the tribes of Abraham, whatever you want to call them. i.e., divine beings, the illumined, the elect, and so-called twin flames. As I always say, it is on the tribes of Israel on which these, so-called beings are based. And so there you have more evidence from a historical, whether you believe in the Talmud or the Bible or not, at least it goes back thousands and thousands of years, this practice, as opposed to somebody pulling something out of their ass in recent decades. Or the recent decade, really, not even decades. All right, on that note, let's find out what's going on in the area of love this week, beginning with the dice, and it's 50-50. Weekend away and cocktail. Spirit says spend money. It's still 50-50. Can be about give and take in a relationship or balance. Everybody doing their part. Also massage. Maybe you do me and then I do you. That can be 50-50. That sort of thing too. So I was moved right before I started to pull out my Journey of Love Oracle cards. And I'm not going to read them or anything like that. But I went ahead and shuffled them, and I thought it was interesting that I ended up on card 29, Spiritual Dance of the Goddess. Since again, the 15th of Av is a festival, whereas the divine feminine of the tribes of Israel, those that were single, unmarried, would go out dressed in white and dance and choose mates. So I thought it was interesting. This card actually means that we're stepping deeper into light and into divinity and becoming more of our divine selves. You may find yourself shedding more of your what feels like your more human self, and it's weird because even where you felt that you were self-aware, it's all of a sudden like, what am I doing? And that's because like your divine, your inner divinity has sort of outgrown your human consciousness. Even if you considered yourself woke, there's levels to this, as they say. I'll look at the top card too. Oh wow, okay, it's the next card. It's card number 30. That was card number 29. This is card number 30, and it's called Towering Magnificence. It's pretty beautiful, the card. And this card too is about stepping deeper into your divinity and shedding your human self, even if you thought that your human self, had become more conscious and divine. Like that wasn't it. You didn't cap out. There's still more levels to this. So that's the extent of what I'm going to do with those. Maybe I'll pull at the end, I'll pull an advice card for each archetype from those. I am going to start with the Animal Tarot, beginning with the Two of Summer, or the Two of Cups. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress can still be saved. Don't give up. And opening two, the Seven of Summer. Caution will help you to avoid the loss of valuables, including non-material resources such as money or peace of mind. Be aware of the results of your actions as well as what others might be doing behind your back. The Seven of Winter. Opposite the Two of Summer, I'm feeling is more positive, like about stealing away. You ever heard that expression, stealing away? And it might be connected to like the die that suggested weekend away. This can be like about a getaway for two people or something. Two of Cups. And the King of Spring. Inspiring, dramatic, ambitious, and wise. Now's your moment to step up into a leadership role. Don't back away from the spotlight, as your plans will be successful as long as you stay focused on the big picture. The King of Spring is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. King of Spring. And the Three of Autumn. Your most satisfying and profitable career or even relationship comes from following your passions, listening to your heart, and doing what brings you joy. Your life purpose is best fulfilled by allowing your true talents and true self to shine forth out into the world. This is about abundance that is earned, having reaped, or the process of reaping what you've sown. King of Spring. Okay, Seven of Summer popping up, standing up. Somebody may have some options. Maybe trying to decide whether or not to become single or remain single, or to get out there and mingle as relates to love and or sex and, physical connections between human beings. Seven of Summer can also be about like one night stand type of stuff for me too. I feel like I dropped a card, but I don't see anything. I thought I felt something like on my leg, though. That's weird. Overall energy is Major Arcana card 10, the Wheel. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can now move forward and make great progress. So Major Arcana card, the Wheel, does represent the planet Jupiter, which again goes direct on the 11th tomorrow. Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius. This card and the energy of the planet Jupiter, the planet of growth and expansion, the god of karma. Also connected to the fixed signs: Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, and Taurus. You know what? I just got moved to do those first. So now that I've shuffled these, I'm just going to put them there. I'm going to move to these. My Universal Love Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno, beginning with Heaven on Earth, which is very air and fire and could be representative of Venus, which is currently located in Leo, Mercury, which again returns to Leo, Mars, I believe is in Leo, if I remember correctly, the Sun, of course, in Leo currently. Heaven on Earth. The card is more so about, though, if you want to experience heaven on earth, you can do so by stop holding on to hell so damn tightly. Like, let go of what it is you're holding on to. You're usually taking up the space where the heaven wants to enter, this thing that you really desire, this person you really desire, where it wants to enter. You're taking up the space with something that's old. Now, it can be a relationship or, something tangible, but it's often less tangible than that. It's often about like negative emotions and cords of attachment, things requiring different types and levels of energy healing, some of which you may be able to do yourself, some of which you may need other people for, professional. But it's like letting go of cutting cords, first of all, and also letting go of like resentment and regret and the inability to forgive. Like, all of that is taking up space. It's baggage. And it's holding you back, and it's blocking your blessings. So the good thing can't come in because you're taking up the space with hell. Opening to answer prayer. So like, again, you're asking for the universe for something, and you're making a focused intention, you're manifesting, you're praying, if you believe in that, whatever you want to call the word, you're bringing things towards you, using the law of attraction, using the laws of karma, and here they are. And then it's like, and then what? It's not actually coming to your hand. It's blocked. It gets stuck because the space is taken up. So we need to cut those cords, and we need to vacate that space so that these answered prayers can come in. So again, this card for me, and it's, aside from what I just said about the card, the meaning that not only that the author intended, but that's coming out, it's also very much connected to air with all these clouds and things, and fire for me with all this red. So Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, and of course Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. And then I open to this one is also all this air all over the place. And then most specifically for me of the air signs, the sign of Aquarius, again, where the full moon will be this week. With air signs are about communication, and the throat chakra is certainly a communication center. We have this star very strategically placed over this angel's throat chakra, and the star in the tarot is representative of the sign of Aquarius. So it's like one of the answered prayers may be that something is spoken that needs to be spoken, right? Something that went unsaid before, like I was saying, the inability to forgive. Maybe it finally comes out. An apology comes out, or you're forgiven, I forgive you, I forgive me, whatever finally comes out perhaps. Also, this card connected to water for me, most specifically Scorpio, with this butterfly here over her stomach or solar plexus, where people say, many believe the soul is located in the solar plexus. That's why we get butterflies in our stomach. That's why we feel like our stomach dropping. That's why our stomach sinks when, we feel something's wrong. If it's good, we get a feeling. If it's bad, we get a feeling. Our stomach, or, like I said, dare I say, our soul, sort of tells us what's going on. So Scorpio is ruled by the planet Pluto, which is also, maybe that's why I'm being showed this Earth card now. Planet Pluto, which is also in retrograde in the Earth sign of Capricorn. Pluto can be about things like the depths of our soul and, mystery surrounding us, secrets, maybe things from our past. And so that may be what's coming up to the surface this week and coming out in answer, perhaps, again, to a prayer. And then that would unblock the blessing, giving way to abundance. And here we have this earth energy, maybe connected to Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. Heaven on earth. And the universal heart, which is an image likened to the common, illustration of Jesus, right? Not what I necessarily feel Jesus looks like, but the common illustration of Jesus. And what the card is about is a lot of little white specks on it that, aren't easily seen until you focus in, right? And once you continue, you hone in and you continue to focus in this card, all those little white specks begin to be a lot more prevalent, sort of like stars. And the card is about like each of those little stars, or each of us little stars, being connected to the larger body of the universe and, being vital and important. Universal heart will do one more, and it is retreat. So it's more of this earth energy, and it's also more Aquarius. It's very Aquarius and Taurus, where Aquarius will be going retrograde this week. So Uranus, rather, the planet that rules Aquarius, will be going retrograde this week in the sign of Taurus, in addition to the Aquarius full moon. This card, retreat, about prayer, about manifestation, intentions, drawing things to us. Also may be connected to that 9 of Pentacles that we saw in this deck, where I said somebody may be considering whether or not to be, remain or become single. This could be going within, spending some time in meditation and figuring things out for yourself. Card jumped out of this deck too, and it is spiritual growth, which is also not only is the moon showing up here, but again it's a lot of like air and fire, and this angel, fiery red angel. So I think it's very much connected to all of the air and fire karmic energy that is propelling us this week, which again would include Mercury in Leo, Venus in Leo, Mars in Leo, the Sun in Leo, the Aquarius full moon, and Aquarius retrograde in Taurus. In addition to Jupiter, again, going direct. So that would explain a lot of this fire too. Oh, okay, wait a minute. I just found the other cards that had fallen out or jumped out. That I felt them on my foot and then I never saw them again. They just materialized. Is the Ten of Autumn. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and to have pride in your heritage and the accomplishments of your ancestors. And that was with the Two of Spring. Your vision, creativity, and dedication to your cause have brought you great success. In fact, it may be in your best interest to get a partner to assist you in your endeavors or to expand the number of people who are helping you. The Two of Spring be about partnership in general, maybe coming together, forming a family, even if it's only a family of two, forming a force, a security. You take care of me, I take care of you, we cover each other. Twos are about faith in terms of manifestation, and I've been talking about the law of attraction and drawing things closer to us. Two's vital in that regard because that's where the belief and remains and holds on tightly to the focused intention that this is something that actually can happen and will happen and is happening and has happened already. And then the next thing you know, here comes the three and it begins to become something tangible. I'm just going to put these like arbitrarily in here. And same thing with this one. All right. And our overall energy is inner child, which is another card that's very much air, water, and earth. And all these stars again, very strategically placed. Communication centers, throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra, very Aquarius. So again, the air signs may be particularly affected by this. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius first and foremost actually. Water signs, and maybe more so Scorpio, then Pisces and Cancer. And then the earth signs, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo, probably in that order. That thing that I said was deep inside someone's soul might be from their childhood, maybe from way back, that's coming up, that's resurfacing now. Again, perhaps courtesy of Pluto, bringing it up from the depths to be dealt with. Divine Feminine. The masculine as it relates to the feminine this week. Himself. And the union as a whole. Remove these for now. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine do, contribute, surrender toward the union. That was going to be his card, but it wanted to come out from underneath this one, so I'm going to give him this one, what he himself is willing to. Is this in frame? What the universe would have and wants both to do, would have each do, both do, wants to even help with, but we have to first affirm, and the outcome. Divine Feminine this week. Oh, sorrow. So this could be us, or it could be us. We could be the one who's looking for that forgiveness. seeking the forgiveness or looking for somebody to come and seek it from us. We could be upset because we haven't gotten it. I tell my clients all the time, sometimes we have to accept the apologies we're never going to get. Like, sometimes you're not going to get that apology. For others, we have to find it in our heart to release these things and go ahead and extend the compassion if someone does come to us. This can also be tied to what I was talking about. If you want the heaven on earth, then you got to release those negative cords of attachment. You got to cut those cords. If you don't know how to do it, you need to seek somebody that can help you cut those cords. You got to release those negative emotions. Regret, resentment, guilt, pride, the inability to forgive. It's all those sorts of things that are holding you back, that are tied to legitimate hurt. I don't want to, minimize your hurt, or, seem as, it's unwarranted, it's unfounded, or anything like that. No. But it's time to process it and release it, is all. The masculine as it relates to the feminine this week, and perhaps specifically this energy. Actually, this week, there is something, too, involving Mary, also on the 15th. So I said the 15th is the 15th of Av, all about, love and happiness and celebration. It's also the Aquarius full moon at 22 degrees, which is pretty cool, too. It's the Assumption of Mary as well. The day that is believed and observed by Christians that she, not unlike Jesus, was just taken up to heaven without having to physically die. Now, the scriptures talk about that, though, not just in her regard. The scriptures say for a number of people, there are some who will not taste death. That's in there. So some of us are slated to just, ascend, just further ascend. And it's, said that that's what Mary did. So that's recognized on the 15th this month, too. The masculine as it relates to the feminine. Golden memories. So I talked about baggage. I talked about stuff from the past. Again, these things that we have to let go. Let it burn, right? Let it go. It's just holding you back. Drop it like a hot bag of rocks. And keep it moving. Like, move on from this thing. So it is directly tied to, this hurt, these cords, this need for healing, this need for severing of, like old karmic ties, maybe not only from your past, but perhaps from past lives that you've been unable to clear. Maybe you even completed the karma. But if you're still holding on to residual funk from that old completed karma, then you need to get rid of that, or you need help getting rid of that. And then we take only like the positive with us, the lessons that we learned and the memories, because it wasn't all bad, right? At some point something went left and went bad, but it wasn't all bad. We got beautiful memories to take forward too. So that's light. That kind of stuff is light. We can carry that. But the stuff that's heavy, that's weighing you down, that's blocking your blessings, that's turned into an obstacle, let that go. Let that burn. Fire is cleansing, right? The masculine as it relates to himself this week is fear. Fear is one of these negative emotions that I've been talking about, and it could be, again, fear because of he knows that he was a vehicle or party, at least to this hurt, perhaps, and that he's carrying these things around and they're directly related. And what do I do, right? So let's see what the cards suggest for us. So, the masculine's feelings on the union as a whole this week, despite whatever this is. Relationship. So his feeling is that each or both need to work on the relationship that they have with themselves this week first, which makes a lot of sense if you look at this. So he needs energy healing, she needs energy healing, and then they can come together after they've cleared this out of the way. This card, relationship, is about the fact that we need to repair the relationship with ourselves before we can begin to have better relationships with other people. And it's very Nine of Pentacles, which showed up earlier for us when I was shuffling the other deck. It may show up again in a minute because I'm going to put those cards on top of these in a second for, to see if we get additional messages or clarification of what's already here. Overall, more fire, message from afar. This could be Jupiter, this could be Mars, this could be Leo, we're still also in the energy of the Lionsgate, of course. Lionsgate portal officially open from July 26th of this year through August 12th. And, as of the 12th, Sirius will return to her fixed location in the constellation of Cancer. But until then, has risen in sort of, in direct face or opposition to the sun. And is herself considered a sun, the spiritual sun. So we have all of that message from afar, very fiery stuff that's happening right now that I failed to mention before. And again, we want to clear out this stuff so that we are welcome to go through that gateway toward the further divinity that we saw in the beginning of the reading before I started from the Journey of Love deck. Message from afar can actually be about you actually receiving messages too. Could be telepathic between partners. Could be some sort of spiritual guidance directly from the divine. Your intuition, your gut, right? That solar plexus stuff that we saw. Could be signs, synchronicities. All these things giving you information, helping you to find clarity, helping you to find strength so that you can move forward on these goals here. And on this one, right? Improving the relationship with yourself. Improving this new awareness and understanding of yourself, right? Because yourself may not be the same self that it was last week. You may have shed layers so that you can grow more divine, right? Jupiter helping you to expand. The planet of growth and expansion and karma. It's all related. Because of your karma, because you completed this karma, now you can expand, you can grow to the next level. You can go through the gateway. This has to happen first, though. With the masculine, would have the feminine do, contribute, surrender, whatever, toward the union is trilogy of light. So he also recognizing that she is stepping deeper into light even this week, even though she doesn't know it. And it's also a maintaining of the connection between the two of them. Like, despite whatever else is going on, we still have divine masculine, divine feminine, and divine, period, right? We still have each other connected with God, with Source, as part of that universal heart that was depicted with the Jesus card too. So this is very like trilogy, and not only trilogy, but Trinity rather, very Trinity. And nice to see it sitting here under Mary. With the masculine himself willing to do, contribute, surrender toward the union this week, and it is creativity. So this is the card of it'd be self-creativity, but it's also a willingness or desire to co-create. And it's more another, this is our third like fire red angel, I think, that showed up in this reading. So this sort of, again, burning passions, pursuing our passions, but pursuing in a way that's not a chasing energy, that's more of an attraction energy. This is all the law of attraction and the laws of karma very much at play this week, from what we can see here. This card brings in, again, air, fire, water, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, with all these clouds and everything. Fire, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Of the air signs, most specifically Aquarius, here goes another star strategically placed, this one on her third eye chakra. Water signs, primarily Pisces. He's standing in this water with these very translucent fish jumping out. I don't know if you can see the fish. Pisces also in the tarot, represented by the moon. She's standing in front of the moon. But of course, the sign of Cancer, ruled by Earth's actual moon. So on this card, as far as the energy is concerned, I'd say Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, in that order. What the universe would have each or both do, and even wants to help with, but they have to first affirm, is embrace it. So it's wow. You don't you have no idea how connected this energy is to this, because while it looks like a couple in a very tight embrace, and I think it is meant to represent that for us in part, like a very two of wands, which we've already seen just a moment ago. We saw the two of fire. kind of card. But this card, the way the author intended, is actually one person's inner masculine and feminine coming together in a harmonious way, right? Healed. So it's about the relationship with self. This card for me is very temperance-like. And in the tarot, temperance represents the sign of Sagittarius, again, which is ruled by Jupiter. So I think a lot of this is being propelled by the fact that Jupiter is going direct tomorrow. And the outcome, the mystic. So coming into clarity, information, again, maybe learning something from our deep, dark past, mysterious past with all this dark blue here. It's a lot of water, again, air and water coming together, and again, most specifically the sign of Aquarius, which is very appropriate this week. But this mystic is very high priestess-like. So coming into information and using it wisely. Maybe if she does need to make some sort of move, not doing so until she's employed all this information that she's got here. So like I said, I'm going to further clarify these. I should also move this over here so we don't forget what our overall energy was. And it was this very Aquarius, but also air, earth, water kind of card, and inner child, maybe again something from our past or even a past life. So let's put that back there. Bring these back out, again beginning with an overall energy of Major Arcana card 10, the wheel, which also again represents the planet Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius, as well as the energies of Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, and Taurus, which are connected to Jupiter. Divine Feminine, masculine as it relates to the feminine here, himself, the union as a whole. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine do contribute toward the union this week, what he himself is willing to, of course, as it relates to love and relationship, what the universe would have each, both, the two do, but we have to first affirm using our free will to do it, and the outcome. Divine Feminine. So here, joining sorrow. So the Four of Autumn is a card about where we're not very pleased or happy, to me, as it relates to relationships. And we definitely need to talk about, especially if we're interested in maintaining the relationship, we definitely need to talk about where we're going from here and what we need, what our partner needs, and how we can go about providing those things to each other. Maybe this is where it's 50-50 comes in, and as far as the dice. Because the Four of Autumn, okay, it's easier for me to explain it as it relates to finances and career, and then how that translates into love. So when you have a job and you're at this job and you don't really like the job, you don't like the people, they don't like you, or you feel that they don't. It's just like a miserable place to go. But you go, you're still maybe good at what you do, and committed to getting up and going, because why? Because you get your check from there. But that's really the only reason. It pays the bills. That's all you care. Think about a relationship in those sort of terms. I'm not happy. I'm just going through the motions. I'm doing it because it's better than the devil I know is better than the devil I don't know. Change is scary. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And so that's what I get with the Four of Autumn. And so a relationship may need to end, because I meant to also mention that in the beginning, that I still felt for this period, especially in consideration of the Lionsgate and those people who are preparing themselves or have prepared themselves to go to the next level, who have cleared out that karma, who have completed that karma, who have got different cleanses of different types, or performed cleanses of different types on themselves, and cleared out any residual junk that was still mucking up the works and stuff. Those people that are going forward, on particular consideration of them, what that can mean. It can mean leaving a relationship behind. It can mean moving toward one, and definitely still feeling engagement and even marriage and stuff this week, but also ultimate endings too, where we're just deciding like this doesn't work. And that can be from where, you know, the sorrow comes to. It could be mixed feelings, sadness, and joy and stuff. But again, with the Four of Autumn, you need to decide what it is you want and then talk about it. You know, either way. So if you're going to make the relationship work, or if you're going to decide that it's the end of the road, which is also positive. I don't want people to think of like those kind of breakups as something that's negative. But that's super positive, to release yourself from a relationship that is inappropriate, that is not the one for you, and to release this other person. How awful is it to keep somebody like captive in a relationship that is, you know, going nowhere fast? And especially for one of those people that you're doing that to be you. That's terrible. So we got to let these relationships end so that we're able to, you know, one day join with whom we do belong. So that's what that's about. The masculine is relates to the feminine. And maybe, okay, here's his fears already popping up. Fear of letting go of the past, and of letting go of these emotions, of cutting these cords, or of having to deal with it, of having to have this conversation, because the suit of winter is about ideas, thoughts, words, communication, right? It's air. And so fear about all that. And there's no need to, again, be afraid, because this is a conversation that needs to be had, and it's a positive thing. It's a sign of growth and maturity that you can, you know, even broach this and handle it, right? Your worries and fears aren't real. They're fueled by focusing on the negative, which gives power to that of which you're afraid. Stop worrying. Let go of fear, which we know the masculine has. It's sitting here right next to this, representing his feelings about himself this week. He's very honest about the fear that he has. But this is saying let go of that fear and everything's going to be okay. So atop that fear, yeah, the masculine really, really down and needing to work on his spirits here, but he's not going to be able to do that until it's going to require addressing this stuff. It can't be swept under the rug. It's not going to just go away. Like, if I don't open my mail, maybe I won't have to pay the bill. No, you will. It's going to pop back up, you know. Focusing upon the negative, or worrying about money or your career or crappy relationships as well, can block your progress, because your trust and faith are at a low point right now. It's not the best time to start something new. You got to work on that first, which is what I said before when I first laid this spread, and I said this stuff here has to be addressed. It has to be addressed. And this second layer, my method of reading tarot has been named, has been coined, by other people. Layer. The second layer is confirming what we already saw. Atop relationship, the masculine's feelings about the union as a whole this week. All right. At the end of the day, it's still all good as far as he's concerned. It's still going to be fine. It's still intact. The sun still shines on it. And where something is unwell, like the sun for me can be connected to the need to go to a doctor or a hotel, right? There's illness, there's some sort of hurt, pain, a situation, maybe even, you know, something is needed. And that's saying, okay, fine, the relationship, the union may be unwell, but it's going to be fine when the sun is showing up here. Major Arcana card 19, the sun. Your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness, prosperity, and success. You'll garner the recognition for your accomplishments that you so richly deserve. The sun also illuminates everything upon which it shines. So again, clarity is coming out. News coming out. Information is coming out with the sun showing up here, especially with ruler of communication sign Gemini, currently located in Leo, which is ruled by the sun, and that is Mercury. Mercury, the communication planet, right? Overall, and the top message from afar, that other fiery energy that showed up here, it's the Three of Autumn. So like, why is this coming to us? Because we earned it, because we deserve it. We warrant this recognition, celebration, award. Your most satisfying and profitable career or relationship, right, comes from following your passions. But that's what you got to do first. That's how you earn it, by going within and maybe listening to this guidance that you receive. Following your passions, listening to your heart, right, and your intuition, and doing what brings you joy. Your life purpose is best fulfilled by allowing your true talents and true self to shine forth into the world. Look at the 3, the 4, the 5 showing up here. So there isn't, on a positive note, there is a natural progression of this earth energy. The next one is the 6 of autumn. And that is where the universe is giving us assistance, and it's an energy representative of exchange for me and unconditional love. So we are moving toward that, and that makes, again, this make even more sense, again, or, you know, gives that more reason to be here. But we got some work to do is all, right? So then what the masculine would have the feminine do, contribute, surrender toward the union this week, atop the trilogy of light. It's, again, this is him wanting to cement that things are still cemented, things are still concrete, but we have to deal with these issues, right? So the 2 of summer, the 2 of cups, you're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress, right, sitting right above this, in distress, can still be saved. We can still work on them and fix this. Don't give up, right? If that's what you want, don't give up. You can still fix it. What the masculine himself is willing to do, contribute, surrender toward the union this week. Atop creativity is the King of Spring, inspiring, dramatic, ambitious, and wise. He's willing to take a leadership role. He's willing to create. He's willing to be like boss and get the job done. I like this. Now's your moment to step up into a leadership role. Don't back away from the spotlight, as your plans will be successful as long as you stay focused on the big picture. The King of Spring, again, this is very much connected to fire, is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. What the universe would have the 2 do, contribute, surrender toward the union this week, and even wants to help them with, but they have to first affirm. So we started with that very 2 of Wands kind of card, and we're getting release. Very nice. Release or death. Major Arcana card 13, death. It's time to release the past and to move on to something new. So inner child, right? That's the past. We want to transition through the gateway. We want to ascend to the next level. How do we do that? By letting go of this stuff. By getting some energy healing and clearing this out. Getting this washed away. Release so that we're able to move forward. It's weighing us down. It is holding us back. Universe even wants to help you to do this by showing you how to do it over yourself, by sending you to a qualified professional who can help you with this, by bringing you clarity to help you make a decision. You know, could be different ways that you can move forward with this energy, with the universe's help. It's time to release the past and to move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. So just like I said, even where relationships end, it's still something good, because the happier future happens when you're able to be with your true mate, when your current mate is able to be with their true mate. Then it's all worth it, whatever you went through to this point. And the outcome, atop this very Aquarian energy of the high priestess, the mystic, is the 9 of summer. Dreams coming true, which is all about what Aquarius and the star. So this is like half high priestess and half the star. The star in the tarot is about prayers being answered, wishes being granted, dreams coming true, as is the 9 of summer. Now is the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. So it's like we got that energy doubled here, because we got like a star and the 9 of summer, which is pretty cool. I'll do one more spread this week, and that will be with the hashtag creepy deck, to see from the universe's perspective what's up. And for that, I'm beginning again with another very Venus and Leo kind of card with Beauty Queen. It's about being confident, not being held back, but opening right away to this karmic feminine energy, which may be with what we need to contend. That may be what was causing that pain and stuff, right? We saw a couple of 3s in the last spread. We also saw lack of communication. Maybe that's changing. This energy could have been holding back, preventing the communication. For some, maybe we need to hear from that person. We need to resolve something from an issue of that. If we wanted to be able to move forward to the gateway, ascend to the next level toward this, we need to close off something that was going on with a karmic feminine energy, perhaps. Make communication now with this twin flame partner, divine partner. Communication. Okay, we saw a couple things there. True gem. Well, wait a minute. These are the obstacles. So again, maybe there had been an obstacle to communication before. Maybe it was caused by a true gem, maybe an actual Gemini, but probably more likely Mercury. I just mentioned Mercury was the communication planet. So Mercury had been in retrograde until last week. That may be what the obstacle was, right? Blocking your communication. But now, since Gemini's ruler, Gemini, the great communicator, since our ruler, the communication planet, is direct in Leo, which rules our 3rd house of communication, now things can flow. Communication, I'll do one more. And it is short-term, heartache, heartbreak, break, delay. And again, this may be from the past. This may be showing up because of Mercury again, something already occurred. There had been a short-term delay, a temporary delay in our communication. Maybe it's over. Or this could be something that, some of us experienced this week, but again, it's only temporary. Don't let it, hold you back and block you from moving forward ultimately. Could be connected to some sort of emperor-like energy. Could be oppressive. Father figure, authority type. Could be just a mature man. Positive light. The Emperor card for me is about taking back control, where we maybe had relinquished it to somebody else in the past. Can be in Aries, Scorpio, very representative of the planet Mars. A married man, a man with children, marriage material, as they say, the marrying kind, all represented by mature man for me, or the Emperor. Overall energy is brunette female this week, which again for me is a representative of karmic feminine energy in this deck. Divine being or couple. It applies to singles too, as did the last spread. Recent past, near future. Masculine's higher self. Why do I do the masculine's higher self? Because my viewership, while in part masculine, is more largely feminine. So we need to we know what the feminine's thinking, right? We need to see what's up with the masculine. Blocks, obstacles to individual or shared progress, including union. What the feminine can do to help herself, the masculine can. What the universe would have both do, and even wants to help them with, but we have to first affirm and the outcome. Divine being a couple, karma, told you, boom. We got to contend, deal with those things that showed up. We got to cut those karmic ties. We got to clear that karmic debt. We got to resolve that karma. And if we have already, then we got to clear out that karmic residual mucky muck, the stuff that's mucking up the works. We got to get it out. It's like a clogged drain. Right, so that's why it needs to be washed, it needs to be cleansed. That's what energy healing does. It cleanses that away so that things can flow. Karma, very likely from a past and or past life. having, again, had an overall energy previous to this in the last spread of inner child. Recent past, open relationship. So more so in the recent past, whether you actually came together in the physical to decide this, or each person decided this separately, even if you're unpartnered and you had this is, again, in the recent past, having come to a place, a decision, where you're more so seeking your freedom and your self-awareness and living how you want, out loud, out in the open. And that applies to love too. Near future. Gifts, spiritual gifts increasing. Again, ascension, going through the great way, positivity, growth, expansion. Masculine's higher self. Young female, which for me, those of you who watch me, regularly at all, know that this card for me, yes, it can be an actual young female, maybe somebody youthful. They don't have to be a kid. It can be, and if we're talking about love and romance, let's presume they're not, right? But this can be representative of somebody youthful, like a mutable sign, most specifically Sagittarius, which again is ruled by Jupiter. So the masculine, basically what this card is saying in this placement, the masculine very much so being propelled by Jupiter going direct in this Sagittarian energy, which is very Cupid-like too. Very fiery, moves us to pursue our passions, but it's a lighthearted energy as a mutable sign. So getting rid of heavy baggage too, again, letting that stuff burn. I like it. Blocks to individual or shared progress, including union, and it is past love, which is probably connected to past life and perhaps to our overall energy of this chick, brunette female, representative of karmic feminine energy. But we already know we got to contend with karma this week. So it's just all making sense. You might not like to see it, but it's making sense, right? We know why we're seeing it here. All right, what can the feminine do to help herself? You got past life issues to deal with too, so you can't, don't throw blame and stuff like that. It's sitting here right underneath the karma card. How convenient for you to go ahead and work on it. All right, feminine, get your energy healing, do your energy healing, whatever it is you do. Yeah, take care of yourself, especially if you've been wanting to move forward, if you've been feeling stuck, if you've been affected by the retrogrades and you felt that they particularly had you held back. Now is the time when not only are they moving forward and direct, but they can bring you along, but you got to help yourself too. What the masculine can do to help himself is money. This is a very Ace of Pentacles kind of card for me. It can be sort of literal about like work, effort, also valuing oneself, recognition, feeling worthy, feeling deservingness, which definitely comes into play with regard to fear, right? Fear signifies lack of confidence, lack of esteem. So you definitely want to change that. And that Jupiter, I think, can help you with too. Because, it is the planet, again, of growth, luck, expansion, karma. So it can help you to say, you're part of this gift, right? You're very precious and gift to the world. Each of us is, right? Each of us is a little star, like the Universal Heart card suggested, that it's part of the larger source. Everybody very important. So don't give up on yourself. Let's pick yourself up out of that Five of Pentacles kind of energy and go about and handling your business like the King of Fire, which also showed up there, would do. What the universe would have both or each do and even wants to help with, but we have to first affirm. True gem. So this is a surprise. This is a gift. This is growth. This is expansion. This is presence. This is abundance. And it may involve an actual air sign, maybe most specifically an actual Gemini. This is engagement. This is union. And the outcome. Boom! After you guys have liked this reading, I'm going to give you a little bit more of advice, beginning with the masculine and this hashtag creepy deck. Masculine friendship. And I think, again, this is talking about the relationship you have with yourself. Be your own friend again. work on that, nurture yourself, maybe, treat yourself to those things you like to do. Get your hair cut, get a shave, get your shoes shined. I don't know, what do guys like to do? Get your car washed. What makes you feel good? Go to the park, play some ball, go for a run, listen to music. Befriend yourself. And then you can extend, when you feel that you've been picked up in that regard, then you can extend that to others. Right? Try to be a little bit more social, get out there, spend some time with other people who like and or love you as well. Feminine, for us, from the same deck, 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands kind of stuff. That can, mostly swords, right? Gossip, it involves words. That's air, communication. So communication popped up a lot. We want to be careful with regard to communication, especially when that thing comes up. If it's something that we have to say and get off our chest or whatever, say what you mean what you say, and avoid listening or spreading any gossip yourself. From the Animal Tarot to the Masculine. Major Arcana card 11, Strength. You have the ability to face any and everything that comes your way this week, right? As it relates to love in specific, Major Arcana card Strength is a very positive omen, as it is in relation to your finances and career too, which can be directly connected to our love and relationships, right? You can't get your groove on if your pocket's empty. Right? Well, we feel like that in the 3D. So this is about abundance flowing. Major Arcana card Strength. And just, like I said, the ability, the confidence, the courage to face whatever comes our way and handle it. Feminine, for us, the 2 of Winter. Got some sort of decision to make, maybe, but not making it. Very inaction, energy of inaction. Procrastination, worrying about what others will think. Maybe these people that are bumping their gums. Worrying about what they think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. To what might this decision be connected? Whether or not to put in more effort in a relationship, a given relationship, quite possibly with an earth sign, but not necessarily. This isn't a court card, but I just got that it could be directly connected to an earth sign too. And the 8 of Autumn, or 8 of Pentacles, is about reaping what you've sown, and where we put the effort is from where we get the outcome. So that to be what that's tied to. And lastly, from the Universal Love Oracle, for the Masculine, Guardian, right? Although I've guided you here, or they've guided you through me to spend some time with yourself, working on the relationship you have with yourself, that doesn't mean you're alone, right? And even when we are physically alone, that doesn't mean we have to be lonely, right? We're always surrounded by energy, and that energy can be as positive or negative as we make it, right? And what we allow into our cipher. So make yours positive, and know that you're protected. You have loved ones, ancestors, passed on, right? Deceased family members who are there supporting you. And of course, the divine beings who are there supporting you. Helping you to have this strength, right? Feminine, for us, Tantric Union. This card, it can be a sign of what's to come in the physical, but for me, it's really far more ascended than that. It's more 5D. It's very telepathy and connecting on a soul and spiritual level. Even if we're by ourselves, just that feeling of someone else being tied to you, connected to you in a very healthy, positive, and loving way, and able to even communicate just by way of that, right? Just because I can feel you so far, so deep inside me. We don't need actual words. I can communicate that way. That's what Tantric Union is about to me. But yeah, it can also be an indication of some physical stuff that is on its way to you. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this week's love reading. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and for joining me today. And join me for, to chat and talk about what we see here, what goes on during the premiere too. I appreciate it. Namaste.